came from Jesus.
Today's word is reciprocity. Reciprocity. Don't ask me to do a damn thing that you wouldn't do for me.
Hey, my people. Now I'll start off my content with a little light-hearted bit of information. Now this guy, George, I gave him a middle name, Fables Santos, has lied his way into infamy. And one thing I can say for sure about the American politics, it usually offers its own comic relief. And George Santos is now his own stand-up. He has his own little show. Every day he's on show. He has lied his way into infamy. He has lied his way to infamy in such a way that now there's this GEORGE package, George Egregious Officials Removed from Government in Election. Now the functions of this George proposed law is to mandatory background checks, to do mandatory background checks, bars anyone with foreign arrest warrants, makes lying about candidates' background a misdemeanor. Now clearly this guy has a problem. But the thing is, Trump, I think right now Trump is very annoyed because I don't think he thought there was anyone who could challenge his very innate ability, his very acute ability to lie in the face of facts. Now this guy's lied his way into. He's the one who got robbed in Fifth Avenue in the middle of the day. They took his watch, his socks, his shoes. And listen, the more they pursue him, he is going to stand his ground because he loves the attention. You can tell from the way he's operating. He's enjoying the attention. His lies were so salacious that they had to be checked out. And he said that his mom was one of the victims of the 9/11 attacks. And his lies could easily be disproven. And they were disproven because they were so salacious. People were like, okay, now we have to check this out. Nothing of the sort. But there's always this mental health narrative. Do you know that there are some people who are natural born liars? And I do believe that Santos is this era's representation of a natural born liar. He's comfortable telling these lies without fear of being proven to be a liar. He's too comfortable. I don't know if they have made any attempts to speak with people in his family or from his childhood, or that what we've heard is not the worst. Santos has got a history. He must have a history. Now let's talk about these liars who I'm sure are now wishing this whole mess away. Now check this out. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more. Now finally. Now we were wondering what was taking them so long. This internal investigation that was taking forever. What were you investigating? An internal review of what? What you people already knew?
A new report just came out that said AmyRobach from Good Morning America has been blindsided by HOLMS' other affair. She just didn't know the extent of everything. She's now having cold feet. And girl, let's talk. Amy, I'm sorry, but it's like you just found out the man you were cheating with is a cheater. Hello? Now look, Amy, I was rooting for you. I thought you were a smart girl. I had you pegged as... I really had you pegged as a smart girl, but it's like you just found out the sky is blue, that water is wet. Like, what is going on, Amy? And I've been there. I've really been there. I've let my heart get myself into some situations, but if I were you, Amy, I'd be calling ABC. I'd be getting down on the ground, begging, groveling, selling my soul to get back on the air. And Amy, did you just find out he was sleeping with every intern, every production assistant, every woman in the entire building?
Listen, I believe this story, AmyRobach blindsided by extent of TJ Holmes' alleged affairs. I think the story was put out there and concocted so as to not let Amy appear to be as dull as she really is. Because she is. Amy knew. Amy knew. There is no way that you would be a part of a huge organization as theirs. I worked in huge organizations as well. And there is nothing that escapes the lunchroom or your office. Everybody has something to say. Everybody knows. We all know who's dating who. Come on. This is ridiculous. Amy was not blindsided. I call bullet this. She knew. But as usual, she donned her better woman persona. But they conflate better woman with available. You're not the better woman. You're available and willing to accept the mess that no other woman would. And truth be told, TJ Holmes really does exhibit some really creepy behavior pattern. You understand? These women seem to be targeted by him. It's creepy. And it happens all the time. Men that are in powerful position usually take advantage of their power. And most times women feel pressured. I mean, he and Amy were on the same level, I guess. However, these things happen in these large organizations all the time. This is nothing new. And with her feeling, them saying, oh, she was blindsided and now she feels all torn up. Give me a break. You knew, but maybe it's because of who the person is. Maybe she and this young woman weren't getting along, or she was not her favorite person. Something, and it triggered her. But blindsided, I do not really do believe they're using that blindsided storyline to say, well, she would not be with a man of such ill repute. But they were both married to different people. So how different is she from him? This is just a crock of a story. And listen, being accomplished does not necessarily translate to an admirable character. Because we know of people, man, the more accomplished they become is the more promiscuous they are, because they now have access to these women. So why not take advantage? And that is what they do. Why not? The women are at their disposal and they feel powerful, and it's about conquest. Their wives at home don't even know the half of what these men do when they're out of the home. But then they have these women at home as, their arm candy, and they have to present this family, as this family man, because people in corporations and so forth, and these organizations, they wanted to, even though they know sometimes this is just window dressing, it's all superficial, they feel more comfortable when a man has a family, especially if he's in a work environment where there are lots of women, because these women might also have their husbands, spouses. So, they want to present as if everybody is cohesive and everybody's got their stuff together. But TJ Holmes gets around. And I believe that is who he is inherently. He has an insatiable appetite for attention, which is like most men. It's a stroke my ego mentality, which now has cost him everything. But I do believe that they're okay. They're going to be fine. They'll be fine. And I'm holding out that, they weren't going anywhere. You're a distraction. You were a distraction because you're gone. But the thing about this is, if I were Amy, I would be very worried. Different reason. TJ Holmes seems to have a short attention span as well. Apart from having access, he seems to be able to focus very well for too long on one particular woman. There's always going to be something that would distract him. So the thrill is in the chase. Remember, the thrill is always in the chase. So then what next? He's got her. He's got her now. There are no more secrets. No more thrills. No more, narrow escapes. No more sneaking, lying to their spouses. TJ Holmes does not seem to be a man who settles for the mundane. So, Amy, a leopard never changes its spots. It just moves, changes location. But a leopard is a leopard, my dear. And it takes work, as we all know, for a relationship to be sustainable. Even relationships that would have started off a so-called morally acceptable manner, you have the devil's job keeping things together. Now we're talking about a relationship that started with all the scandal, and now you have to live after this. There's going to be a lot of blame throwing, because now that you've lost your jobs, yeah, you don't have a job. And listen, as humans existing in our human realm, when you get into such a predicament, you always try to find someone to blame. You know, there's going to be some amount of blame shifting. Whose actions was the catalyst for where, we are? There has to be someone to blame. And then there could be there's a flip side to this as well. Because even though this relationship, and I spoke about this in another video I did on them, even though this whole affair started off salacious and nasty, these two people could actually rally out and live together for a long time. I don't see why not. Because they both are aware of each other's propensity to cheat. However, this is the thing. The interloper is always fearful because you know what you did. You know what you did to that woman. You know what you did to your husband, and you know what you did to Marley. So there'll always be that doubt in your mind, and that suspicion that he's cheating with someone else. All things considered, there's always that display of righteous indignation. How dare you cheat on me after all I've been through? It gets me every time. Let me just get a bit more comfortable on this couch. They do it with you. It is highly likely that they shall do it to you. But the thing is, the people who do not expect in return what they gave, those people who still believe that the world is square. They still believe the world is square. Newsflash, karma is real. Anyway, as always, stay safe and be self-aware, and subscribe for more tidbits of wisdom and real talk. See you in the next video.